How many want to follow the hero of heroes? And so if we follow the Creator, we should be creative. And if we follow the Lord Jesus, we should be just a little bit different to the norm. Now, by way of introduction, I want to say the church that I see is this. I see a church victorious. I see a church of black and white. I see a church of multi-races coming together to worship God. I see a church that doesn't have a nationalism. I see a church that is a Jesus culture group. I see a church where the music is radical. I see a church where the music is loud. I see a church where the music is predominantly touching a younger generation. I see a church where husbands love their wives and wives love their husbands. I see a church where teenagers are on fire, yet they're pure. I see a church where teenagers stay with the glory of virginity and will not throw away their most beautiful gift that God has given until they're married. I see a church where husbands love and affirm their daughters with all their heart. I see a church where Christians are affectionate, not stiff upper lip. Oh, God bless you. I see a church where people are passionate about prayer. I see a church where the gifts of the Spirit flow. I see a church where the people are generous to a fault. I see a church where people tithe, people pray. I see a church where they take buildings, they take land, they take over, they take cities. I see a church where leadership is developed through discipleship, where people become leaders and influencers in society. I see a church of business kings that are so filthy rich they don't really know what to do with it. So they come to apostles and we help them. I see a church where restored people come to be restored. I see a church where marriages are restored, where children are restored. I see a church where there's glory in worship. I see a church where they don't do it by the clock. I see a church that impacts the community. I see a church where people are saved around the clock. I see a church where when church finishes, they don't finish. It carries on. I see a church where black loves white, white loves black, Indians love Pakistanis, and Pakistanis love Indians, and they love one another. I see a church where Irish love Catholics and Catholics love Protestants. I see a church where there's no distinction of colour or creed, but there's only one person lifted up in the place. It's Jesus Christ, and His glory is seen in His people, where they live the life, where they're on fire for God. That's the kind of church I see. I see a church that is influencing business. I see a church where artists and musicians are taking over in society. I see a church where our system transforms the education system of a nation and begins to teach children the 10 Commandments and the values of Jesus and the glories of the kingdom. That's the kind of church I see. What kind of church do you see? Do you see? Do you see? Do you see? Do you see?